What today could become a superpower conflict started out as a simple regional struggle.
The Western Sahara had been a colony of Spain since the end of the 19th century. But like the other people of Africa, the Sahrawis wanted to be free. So in 1973, the people of the Sahara began a war of independence against the Spanish colonialists. Their liberation movement was called the Polisario Front. After 2 years of battle with the Polisario, the Spanish decided to pull out.
At the time that the Spaniards disengaged, they had an inalienable legal obligation to give the people of that territory, as a territory, the right to make a decision as to what their future government was going to be. That's the way it was done everywhere else. Why not in the Western Sahara? The people of the Western Sahara never had that right.
Instead of granting the Sahrawi people the right to choose their own government, the Spanish divided the Western Sahara into two and gave it away, the upper two-thirds to Morocco and the bottom third to Mauritania. When Morocco and Mauritania moved in their armed forces to secure their new territory, the Sahrawi people loyal to the Polisario Front became a target. An eyewitness whose foot was burned by napalm during a Moroccan air attack gives this account.
The planes came to bomb us on a Sunday at 11 a.m. in February of 1976. Many people were killed. During the attack, women who were pregnant had miscarriages. The limbs of children were blown off. Some were burned like ashes. The first day, the planes came back 3 times to bomb us. They came back every day that week to bomb again and again. The women fled. Those who were not hurt carried their children on their backs. We had to flee on foot. Thank God. The Polisario guerrillas found us. They got us out of there by capturing enemy vehicles to transport us to safety in Algeria. The Moroccans never broke our determination. No matter how long it takes, we must have our freedom and dignity. And even the last old Sahrawi lady like me will fight.
When all of the refugees were assembled in Algeria, a country that's always provided refuge to liberation movements, the Polisario began training its new recruits. Soon, its guerrilla army grew to a force of several thousand well-trained men. Their objective, to reclaim their homeland from the Moroccans.
At the same time, Polisario followers were building the infrastructure for a nation. On February 27, 1976, they declared themselves a republic. Once a year, all Polisario supporters joined together to celebrate the birth of their nation. Today, their government in exile is recognized by 46 nations, but not by the United States. The U.S. remains one of the main suppliers of weapons to the government of Morocco. But we may be on the losing side. The guerrillas have regained control of 9/10 of the Western Sahara, even though they are outnumbered 10-1 by the Moroccan armed forces. Today, Morocco occupies only this small portion of the contested territory. To keep from losing it, the Moroccan army built a fortified defense wall around the entire area.
I was airlifted to Morocco's front lines by Army helicopter. Ras Al Hamra has been the site of several major battles because this is where the defense wall begins. Being the first American journalist to report on this war, I received the full cooperation of the Moroccan government. During a 10-day tour of the war zones, I would visit nearly every major Moroccan military base and outpost in southern Morocco and the Western Sahara. Heavily armed Moroccan soldiers provided protection for me the entire time I was there. The colonel of Ras Al Hamra took me to his command post for a briefing on the defense wall.